Let me show you how I redecorated my space to get me inspired for the Call of Raven's Hollow. The first thing I wanted to do was make a little vision board, just collect some artistic ideas. So I had 4 kind of main things in mind. So the first thing was some steampunk elements. There's a workshop in here that the boy escapes from, and there's lots of clocks on the walls. So I just wanted to have some visual of clocks, what that might look like, the kind of brass that's hanging on the walls, the mechanical components. The second thing that I was really inspired by is Ori, specifically Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I just love the music in that game. I love the artwork. I love the lore behind it, the fantasy, and the kind of those grandiose spiritual elements that are there in the woods. The third thing that I wanted to capture, there's an amazing, amazing game called Little Nightmares 2. Huge inspiration for me with the music on this one. And then the final component was the kind of British Victorian Gothic era where everything is kind of slightly decayed. Really just found like a stock photo that kind of evoked that for me. But I found having these pieces of art up on the wall, when I was feeling creatively stuck, I would just kind of like look up at the wall, look at my poster board, and that would really help inspire some of the music that came from it. I had never really tried to make my studio feel like a space I wanted to be in. I just always made it set up for practical purposes. It worked, but it was never inspiring for me. And when I started the album, I had a really hard time sitting in the space for myself for a while because it just felt like client work. I went to some antique shops to find some things that I really loved. I went on Amazon and got some furniture that looked old and cool but wasn't actually old and cool. I got a little codex wheel. I think I put Hollow on it. Yeah, it says Hollow. I made this Raven from scratch, just a little like thing I made out of clay and glazed with my wife. There's a bunch of Target purchases here that look old and brassy and cool, like the clock, the globe, a bunch of antique stuff, like this pipe was an antique pipe. This is an old piano roll that they used to put in the piano players. This pair of binoculars, I cleaned this up. This is a brass pair of binoculars, I think from the Civil War actually. And all of these things were really just in place, not functionally, but just to really kind of help me sit in that space and just tried to make the space somewhere that I felt was a sandbox for my imagination. And it worked because I was able to stay in here for hours and hours and hours writing music for myself, whereas in the past I would just do my client work, kind of clock out and then leave the studio. But here I actually genuinely enjoy being in this space again, and I think redecorating it for myself was a big part of that. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do it, you just have to really be like intentional about what your ritual is as an artist.